A-O-K. Welcome to a brand new episode of Drag the Lake. I'm one of your hosts, Andy Malfrey. With, as always, Pat George.
My stomach hurts from all the donuts I ate. Just hit me.
Sorry, Pat always has to express that every day. My stomach hurts from the donuts.
It's my mantra. Kind of a catchphrase nowadays, but
we're putting it on T-shirts.
Yeah. It hurts. It hurts it's gross. It's there's gonna back up, but we got lots of music to talk about.
Speaking of T-shirts, another shout out to Far Wild. The reviews are in. I like them. They fit real well. They are comfort cuts or whatever it said.
Yeah, comfort colors, brother. That's
comfort colors.
It is a quality thing. An update on that. I actually got a shout out, a little response back from the gentleman Jeff from Far Wild, and he was just letting me know, because we were speculating in the last episode, what's all this merch about?
What's going on with this merch for a while?
And he said he loved the latest episode, and it's super cool. Thanks for all the shout outs. I actually do make most of my own merch. I've run a local business here in San Diego for a while, making shit for bands, and am presently in the process of scaling up and launching an in-house print-on-demand service for bands. It's possibly easiest to explain by my site. We can double check about that. Like, once, I think he said the site's still, password protected and stuff, but he's working on scaling up. So yes, Far Wild is in the market of making merch for bands, and apparently making it easier, so you don't have to keep, that whole thing where like you can have the online shop and then like it's basically per order. Like that's way better to do than just having a bunch of fucking shirts in the thing, because you can't guarantee what people are going to love the most or what they're going to react to the most. They may like the Take My Tomorrow the most. They might like the Atonement of the Wolf shirt the most. The wizard, the giant trippy wizard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like that would be the move, to just have your own shirt printing business.
Yeah.
So anytime there's this dude, I forget his name, but there's this guy who makes a lot of like Philly and Philly sports related shirt.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever saw Shaner always wears it on shit, but he showed it to me at Skankfest the one year. But he has that shirt that's like, yo, you remember that scene from RoboCop where the guy got his dick shot off? Like, that's just what the shirt says.
Yeah.
And it's a bunch of like unhinged shit like that, and it's like a guy who like every shirt he probably sells like a couple hundred, nothing crazy. And it's just enough to like keep his business moving. And he's like, I can just impulsively make a shirt at all times.
Yeah, that's like I think that's a good thing for not just bands but also like podcasts, shows, comics, merch in general. So hit Far Wild up. That's gonna be. I think a merch drop per show. I think if we have new merch, a whole new line, pants, shirts, shoes, socks.
So you could get your kid dressed for school.
Yes. Yeah, like a uniform. Essentially, yeah.
Kind of how you had that like head to toe Kirkland trip.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Sports aren't the only thing that you can have matchy, my friend. I was Target for a while had swim shorts and shirts. Maybe they didn't always fit the best, but guess what? They look good.
Yeah.
So, I think we should do new merch every show. This merch, we're selling Andy's hat. If you guys want to buy it.
No, you can't have this hat.
$2.
I like this hat a lot. You
$2 if you guys want it. It's a very important hat, Spirit.
I gotta find my cat. Dude, do you just like lose shit?
No. Just my mind, baby.
Well, I had this, actually, speaking of small clothing, guys who make clothing in Philadelphia, this dude had this like cool hat I bought at one of those punk rock flea markets. It was a dad hat like this, and it had like, it looked like the 76ers logo, but it said 666ers, and that was really cool. But when I flew down here for a job interview to the job I didn't take, I left it in the Uber.
Oh, geez.
And then when I moved to, actually, I just realized Texas is taking my hats. Because I lost, in the process of coming down here, I lost my Capra hat.
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
I don't know where my Capra hat is.
I thought you had it down here.
I did for a little bit, but at some point, you're right. Yeah, it wasn't moving here. At some point, being down here, I lost communications with my Capra hat, and I was really sad about that because those hats fit real good.
Yeah, I don't know. That is weird. Yeah, I think maybe you just need to get a 10-gallon.
I don't know. I just gotta be careful.
You're not gonna lose 10 gallons.
But to be perfectly honest, I don't even fucking need this hat right now. I need a different hat.
Which one?
Because we're doing something important.
What's that?
We're calling in the big guns. It's time for the pit police. It's so fun we have hats to do this with.
This is how I wear mine.
Oh, wait. Can you... Here, wait. You gotta... I need you to just run the pod for like 2 minutes.
I'm gonna... Guys, pit police are not responsible for anything they do or say, but we are 100% professionals. We are more than qualified. We are also known as... I don't want to... Look, I don't want to actually tell you guys what the business or anything like that, but I'll let you know that we know a thing or two about shows and show etiquette. And it got to a point where we couldn't step aside anymore. And luckily to Jeff and Farwild for making us these official hats. Now, one of the things we did think about possible merch drops or merch ideas was having pit deputies that we could appoint for anybody out there that we feel qualified or has $9.99. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Pit police, open
Oh,
up.
God. He's got the fat vipers on. Yeah, you need a good pair of mirrored sunglasses to be able to do official police business. But this is not about you guys. It's about the overall vibes of the show. And we're here, of shows in general. And this is our, every once in a while we get called upon to investigate certain shows, certain
I gotta
instances.
time this out so you guys can't see how fucking horny my saved Instagram posts are.
You could just unsave them.
I want to look at it later.
See? He's not being honest with you guys.
Hey, man, are you crazy?
I'll explain them to you guys all in detail. They all kind of look like Natalie Portman for some reason. Asian Natalie Portman, then there's Natalie Portman.
Well, this is why...
Looks like an
Look at
Indian.
that one.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, you
I
understand.
don't like the boob tattoos, though.
I love them. You understand why I don't want to get rid of that one.
Yeah, but, you know, what's her name?
You were about to be like, what's your whole name? But yeah, so we had a really interesting development.
Yeah.
In
this isn't SVU. This is Pit Police.
Pit Police. This is this isn't Law
She
and
was
Order.
definitely underage. I just want to let everybody know that. That was for sure a 16-year-old.
Well, you know, we're pop punk fans. So.
Right. It's Warped Tour. We're having a good time. It's a
Warped
festival. Come
Warped
on.
Tour. By the way, have you seen them do Warped Tours back and they're doing the band rollouts?
Oh, no.
And they're just telling you 5 bands at a time. And it's like, hey, guys.
Do you guys forget what it was like to run Warped Tour?
But, dude, it'll be like they just, okay, perfect example. And I love this band.
Yeah.
I was just listening to them the other day. They just did a 5-band name drop, and the biggest band was Drain. Drain rules. They're not a big fucking band.
And they're not a punk band.
And the thing with Warped, well, that don't matter with Warped Tour.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, yeah.
But the thing with Warped Tour was the fact that, like, if you have bands that get a small amount of people excited, when you post a list with 50 of them, all those small amounts of excited turn into big excited.
Right.
So when you drop 5 small bands at a clip, no one gives a shit. They're probably looking at it differently because they're like, we sold you the fucking tickets already, dickheads.
Did they really? They already sold it. They already have, like, are they, like, sold out and
I
shit?
bet you they're, I should say they're, I believe, because I remember when we talked about them and I went on the websites.
Yeah.
The website for the tickets, there was only like a few options.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm guessing that like a good chunk of tickets are already sold.
I wonder if also, because there is an element to Warped Tour in general that, like, you have this, you didn't pay to see the bands necessarily. Like, it wasn't like there wasn't like anything on here that's 1 or 2 that sold you or didn't sell you. Like, it was one of those things of like, there's enough interest spread out.
You're like, the whole day is going to be
what
really
you should
fun.
have is a main stager at the end of every 5-person list. Every 5 band, and if Drain is a main stager, uh-oh.
Yeah.
I mean, with all due respect to Drain, but uh-oh.
Well, no, it's like,
I don't know if they're a main stager.
It's the same thing if you and me were at a comedy festival and they were like, get excited. Andy and Pat, you're like, I mean, Far Wild and Derek are gonna come their pants.
Yeah, yeah, and they will be excited, but also it would be like most of the people would be like, all right, you know what I mean? Like, oh, aren't they the?
Most of the people are gonna go.
Don't they?
Who is that?
Yeah, for the most part. But if you're at a comedy festival, I would hope at least some like. I mean, Jesus Christ, I've been in things with people, but it's still like a thing where like you have this. I think at least if you're gonna do 5 bands, I think you're right. You need to have Drain being on the thing. I guess you're right. It's not a game changer or anything, but if you're going to announce like 5 at a time, there needs to be a main stager in there, I think.
Yeah. Also, just like it's not like the thing is, it's like it's not going viral. It's not being like newsworthy.
Yeah.
So just like drop a big fat chunk of them at once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like here, perfect example. January on yesterday. What's today? The 1st. We're recording on the. Oh no, we're recording on the 31st. Yeah, yesterday. They go, here's 6 bands. The starting line. Okay? Senses fail.
That's pretty big.
But, like, obviously, it's also a thing where you're like, obviously they're going to be there.
Yeah.
And then it's like state champs, Lacey Sturm, Point North, and Whiplash. You're like, who are these people? Yeah. I'm not even.
Wait, Whiplash is going to be there?
It's like they're probably good
The
bands.
movie?
Yeah. My Time.
My Time?
My Time.
That guy?
Yeah.
He's pretty big. You think The Rock's going to be there too? Red one over here?
But you're just looking at these tweets and it's like they have like 266 likes.
But like you said,
300 likes.
But the thing I guess I was saying that to clarify what I was saying about people aren't necessarily going for the band. You're going for this, in this case, you're going because it's the Warped Tour. You're going to the Warped Tour.
Yeah.
And you're just trusting that the Warped Tour brand is going to have something that you're going to like. If you're buying tickets before the bands are announced.
That's a really great point because you're like, that was kind of a big selling point of Warped Tour where you'd be like, it's Warped Tour. Now, I did fall off because I was like, I checked the lineup and it was more bands I didn't know than did know.
Right.
And I go, I don't know if I want to be a whole day there. But still, like, generally speaking, for the average person, they're more just going, yeah, it's Warped Tour. I just go to Warped Tour.
If there's 3 bands that I want to see, the Warped Tour ticket is usually worth the price of admission. If there's like, or let's say like 5. Like if there's 5 bands that I want to see all day long, because it's only 30-minute sets. It's supposed to be only 30-minute sets.
Even if you include like the drive, parking, at least back in the day. Now,
well, but because I think of that as like you have more things to do. It's like almost like when I went to Universal Studios, I want to go to the Universal or I want to go to the Men in Black ride, and other than that, Harry Potter World. You know what I mean? Like the Marvel thing, yeah, I'll go there. Toon Lagoon, don't give a fuck. Is it, you got the Snoopy area or whatever? Like all that other shit I don't give a shit about. So if you have
the ET ride was kind of fun.
Yeah, like stuff like that. What like if you have like 5 things you want to do all day long, then you can just fucking have a good time all day. You go rest under a tree for a while.
It's also
go refill your water bottle, do some shop. Like I can plan it better that way, as opposed to like if you pack it with 17 bands I want to see, and there's like an 8-hour day. I gotta like that means I have a lot of like I gotta hustle.
You're right too. Also,
and I'm gonna miss a lot of them.
Not overpacking your day too.
Yeah,
it leaves more room to be like, I did this thing I didn't know I was gonna do, and it was actually really fun.
Yeah, and it also leaves opportunity to get exposed to the ones where you're like, who the fuck is that? You can go like, oh, they're really not bad. You know what I mean? There's been ones that I've discovered. I think I discovered the Letters Organized at Warped Tour one year.
That's how I finally.
Plenty of one album bands that I love from back in the day that I mentioned that I feel like I don't think anybody knows who that is.
That's the thing.
They're a really good band.
That's the thing I've been realizing getting older is there's a lot of bands you look back on and you go, oh, these guys ruled. And then you look back and it's either they had a good album or they had like 3 good songs.
Yeah, or it was that album that was good. I just heard somebody, like there was some list that I was flipping through on Reels and it was said something like top 4 most underrated punk albums or something like that, and one of them was Oscar. I think it's called Live to Tell, or it's the one that I always bring up. Not Treatment 5. It's the one after that. Oscar, the band that I always talk about. That the guy was like 16 when it started, and I'm like, yeah, I've been talking about them since they were current. Like, you just got here. Like, it's one of those things where, like, are you just picking another one, or is, like, everybody else actually just kind of coming to the realization of, like, if you liked pop punk or emo or any of that shit, you should love Oscar. Like,
Well, wouldn't you also assume that most people don't know Oscar?
they were on fucking
forgot-
Punkaramas. You know what I mean? Like, they're on the same ones that if you like Rise Against for fucking some reason, then you should like them.
I just more mean in the broader conversation. Like, I've literally never heard anyone bring up Oscar.
Maybe, and see that maybe that's the thing. So then maybe I actually go like, good, they're finally getting their shine, or
Yeah.
I agree with this guy. It comes as simple as I just agree with that guy, I guess.
I personally try not to go the route of you're just figuring this out now. It would be one thing if you were like, dude, I love ska. I'm a huge ska fan. Just found out about Real Big Fish. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
But I personally try not to go the route of like, you're just finding out about that now, because it's like everyone fucking comes across the shit whenever they do. Like, I told you we had a
Idol Will Kill. Sorry, is the name of it, from 2001. That's why I say that. Like, it was right in that prime area.
Yeah.
Like, sorry.
No, you're good. There's a lot of great bands that sort of fell by the wayside just because of the time period, because like there was that like pop punk not resurgence, the like early 2000s like emo pop punk blow up moment.
Yeah.
And there was a shit ton of bands, like I was telling you a while ago, I was reading that book Sellout. That's really good. That's about like the main bands like that, but he talks about like Thursday, Green Day, Blink-182, Jimmy Eat World, Against Me, Rise Against, bands like that.
The ones we already know about.
But like there's bands, I think he talked about them because they were most like significant, but there's a lot of bands that like you're like okay, the other day randomly Phoenix TX popped up and I go, "Oh yeah," cuz they like out of nowhere. And it was really out of nowhere they just put out a new song. And I go, "Oh yeah, I haven't thought about Phoenix TX
since they were River Phoenix."
Yeah.
That was their original name.
But dude, if you would have asked me in high school, I'd be like, what are some good bands? I'd be like, Green Day, Sum 41, Phoenix TX has that good song. Like, but now
because everything's my fault.
Who was the band? Do you remember SR-71?
Yeah. Not a punk band.
No, they were kind of like a mainstream.
But they would be at Warped Tour. That's what I'm saying.
Punk.
Like, and that's the thing. It's like you have that crossover. Like, I remember, again, we talked about Warped Tour in the past where, like, Jurassic 5 was there. Black Eyed Peas were on the fucking line. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, like, you got to have a main stager each day of the announcements if you're going to get some kind of excitement. But also, like, if you're trying to sell it that way. But, like, there should be, if not most of the tickets sold, because everybody that's going to Warped Tour should have already been to a Warped Tour. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think a lot of those tickets are sold already because those are people that are like, I don't care who's going to be here. It's Warped Tour.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
I think you're right about that.
And then there's plenty of people now, they're like, maybe they didn't sell out, and now they're going to be like, hey, but what about Phoenix TX might be there?
Well, and to go to your point, Phoenix TX might be there.
You might see SR-71.
Well, honestly, the point you just brought up, I think it kind of like heightens the overall point I'm putting out here, where you're like, yeah, dude, the majority of your tickets have probably already been sold. So, like, are you doing this to get more tickets sold? If so, well,
try harder.
Even if that is, it's like, it's also not working. It's like, you should do this in a way that gets people talking.
Yeah.
And you got to remember, it's like every band, I would probably say like 80% of the bands on Warped Tour have a small, passionate fan base.
Yeah.
So think about that, where it's like rather than announcing 5 at a time, you could announce like 20, 30, or 40 at a time.
Yeah.
That might be the whole festival, but I'm telling you, that's going to get way more momentum than just putting out a couple here and there.
Yeah,
like I
teasers.
said, these posts have like 300 to 400 likes on them. Like, no one's talking about this. Oh, by the way, I found the post about Drain. And also there's a little bit of like, oh, the mighty have fallen, because the bands that are posted on here are Drain, Saturdays at Your Place, don't know who that is, The Main, I heard of them, Honey Revenge, and then Pat, are you sitting down?
Phoenix
311.
Whoa.
Not the pop billed band on this announcement.
Oh, that's weird.
Drain has surpassed 311.
And I disagree with that. Drain doesn't have a fucking cruise. Like, I hate 311.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I hate them. Their cool, chill vibes piss me the fuck off. But I will say this. They are... Yeah, it's right there. I have, like, a weird thing where, like... I think that almost says more to... It's crazy that they didn't top bill them because of the fact that they still have enough popularity to sell out a cruise, I think, like every year. Like Weezer does, like anybody else does. They're a legacy band.
Well, here's my question.
That's crazy.
No
poop for you.
Here's my question, though. Because I think a lot of times you'll see blah, blah, blah cruise, and I've heard people talk about it. Like I was hearing a bunch of comics did the Impractical Jokers cruise.
Yeah.
I heard them talking about it. And you think, by the way, and this is no shade on Impractical Jokers. They fucking...
We love you, Murr.
They make a lot of money. Justice for... What's the guy they kicked out?
Gatto. Joseph Gatto.
Justice for Gatto. But I was hearing comedians talk about that. You know, you think because the Impractical Jokers are so big, they got their whole ship.
Yeah.
Just part of the ship.
Oh.
So that's the thing about these cruises.
Really?
I think, I'm not 100% certain, but I think some of these cruises... They're just part of the ship.
So they just call their portion of the ship is what they're calling the 311 cruise.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I don't know though. I think that there may be some like that, but you're right though. That is really strange because like why would you go on a cruise? Like you wouldn't think that anybody could really sell out an entire boat, cruise liner every year.
I think there's that one festival. Butterly was just posting about it. He did Shiprocked. I think that one, because it's like a festival, I think they managed to sell out the thing. And then like Chris Jericho does some sort of like wrestling cruise that he has like a shit ton of people on. I think they managed to sell out that, but I think the more specific ones, I would guess they may not be. I could see Weezer filling up a cruise.
Really?
Why not?
Over 311?
Well, yeah, Pat.
I don't know.
Weezer over 311? You think 311's filling fucking... We should get the people out.
I don't know, man. I feel like 311 is they're like, it's not like, I think they don't have anything left to prove band. I don't think that they're like a smaller band. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird to say that like 311 was, I think at a time, pretty big, pretty huge. And they've had recent hits. I think they're comparable, maybe not to like a Linkin.
Recent hits?
Recent.
When's the last like popular song 311 had?
I think they're one that has like those sneaky hits where you're like, oh shit, that's them. Like, don't they have? Yeah. What's their Spotify top 5? They don't have because maybe not early. Like, let's say they had the classic hits, right?
Wait, let me ask you this: How big?
Amber? Wasn't Amber a huge hit?
Yeah, but like forever ago.
2001.
That's like my point. 311 was huge when like we were in high school, or probably right before that. I'm saying, I guess the question I'm asking is like, what kind of
2.7 million monthly listens.
Yeah, but that's more. I mean, honestly, Knocked Loose, I think, gets that much, or if not more.
Okay, yeah, Weezer has 14.7 million.
Yeah. You know,
that's a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah, Knocked Loose has 1.5.
Yeah.
Also too, you got to remember, because I'm thinking in the context of how many people does 311 get to a show. Because, like, a Knocked Loose 1.5 million monthly is more impressive than a 311 being a legacy band getting 2.7 million monthly.
Yeah, I think it's almost like if, let's just say, 2.7 million for a band that was popular in 2001, whether number one is 2001, comparatively is still doing better than a band that is white hot, like Knocked Loose. Currently, putting out half those number of streams is very impressive in my opinion, considering the longevity.
311?
And with Weezer continuously shoveling shit into our ears over the past 10 years has also detrimentally affected their legacy, but they're still...
not to
to me, right.
Not to their
You're
fans.
Right.
Your opinion on Weezer is...
Enough already.
Your opinion on Weezer is a complete 180 to how actual fans of theirs feel.
So do you think... So I don't think it's a Mighty Has Fallen with 311. It would be a Mighty Has Fallen for Weezer. More so.
No,
I think this is them right exactly where they are.
I think Weezer is basically like, we're not the hot ticket, but we're still like a huge band. I think they do I'm assuming they do pretty good for themselves.
I would assume. I'm thinking of the times I've seen Weezer, and the times I've seen them were for free at Universal Studios. I saw them
What year was it?
2000 and probably 12. I might have documented it. Like, I might actually have like a post of it somewhere. But like, I feel like that was 2000. It was before we moved out of Florida, but it might be like 13, 14 maybe. And then we went to see them again I saw them for free again after a Tampa Bay Rays game at Tropicana Field, where they just end of the game, they just drug a stage out, had a bunch of people run out, and they came out and played the fucking hits. Okay, every time I've seen them every single time I've seen Weezer has been for free. It's included with after a sporting event, or it's after. So it gives me county fair vibes. So the fact that they're still
here, wait. But that's not a good gauge on the venues they play and the amount of people they get to a show.
Dude, people don't even like playing baseball in that place.
You've seen them as an add-on to a big sporting event. That's
not a big sporting event.
That's what you said.
A Tampa Bay Rays game at Tropicana Field. They don't even like playing baseball in that arena is what I'm talking about.
Aren't they a big baseball team?
No. I mean, they're in the Major League Baseball.
Yeah, they're an MLB baseball team.
But it's not like, as far as the pop and circumstance of it, it's like a Sunday game after the game. There was no real spectacle to it. It wasn't like, now again, there was probably lots of Weezer fans that decided to buy Tampa Bay Rays tickets that day. But I was just like, oh shit, Weezer's playing? I'll stick around. Do you know what I mean? Like that seemed to be the general consensus.
Yeah, but that doesn't give you a gauge on the shows they're playing.
I guess not. I'm just saying that
if they're the band that's like, because also in the same breath, I saw forever ago the fucking Dropkick Murphys. They came out and played a couple songs at a Red Sox game. Now you got two bands playing MLB stadiums. Dropkick Murphys ain't doing Weezer numbers.
But were you at the game?
What does that matter?
This was not a nationally broadcast game or performance. This wasn't a halftime thing. This wasn't a spectacle. This was by the way, Weezer's playing if you guys want to stick around. Like the game was over. It wasn't a halftime show. The game was over.
Okay, I mean, I think you're splitting hairs at that point.
No, that's what I'm saying. There's like Nickelback who would be like, we're going to play the halftime show at the NHL outdoor game, which is like, I don't know how I feel about that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that's a step up, down, or anything. It's just...
Okay, regardless, I think the original kind of thing I'm bringing up is how many people they can actually get out to a show. So the fact that they're an add-on at the end of a baseball game is like... I don't know if it really matters to, like, the main point. Because that's kind of... Because I was just looking it up, and 311... Like, I'm looking it up here. Like, they're playing in March. They're playing the House of Blues in Orlando, which is not bad.
Yeah.
But it's like a good-sized rock...
it's a big, yeah.
It's a decent. They're playing the Fillmore in LA.
I saw Atreyu there in 2003. So it's a pretty big venue. 2004, 2000, like right at their peak. So like for a bigger, like they could play Janice Landing in downtown St. Petersburg, which is again holds a pretty good amount of people, but is not by any means an arena or theater. But they can sell that out. You know what I'm saying? Like they could sell State Theater out. They could sell probably the House of Blues out.
I wonder if they can, though. Just because they're there doesn't mean they can sell it out.
True. That's very true. And also...
Now, I will say this. They are probably... They're probably moving tickets better than Drain. But at the same time, on a Warped Tour release, I could see Drain being, like, the top billed band.
I guess timing wise.
Honestly, anyone going to Warp... Like, that's the thing. You gotta keep in mind, like, the venue, the audience, and if you go, hey, all these people at Margaritaville, do you want to go see 311?
This is almost like... They're
going to be like, hell yeah, but if you go to Warped Tour and you go, like, who wants to see 311 here? Most of the people are going to be like, I mean, I'd rather see gay ass Hawthorne Heights, to be honest.
And I think this kind of goes that same way, where I think there would be more people that would go, oh shit, I'm gonna go. 311's gonna be there, kind of thing of like, I haven't seen them since the original Warped Tour. Like they're like a. It's almost I would probably equate it more to like maybe wrestling. Like these are like the old guys putting the new guys over.
Oh, okay.
Like
I mean,
I don't think it's a look at them, they've fallen. So, but they're like, no, we know where we are right now.
I don't think it's about fallen. I just think like 311. Yeah, I don't think 311's putting anyone over at Warped Tour. I think the main Warped Tour audience could give a fuck about 311.
Yeah,
in my opinion. But at the same time,
and this is what era of Warped Tour audience? You know what I mean? Because, like, the original Warped Tour, I think 311 was on it with, like, Sublime and fucking all these other bands and stuff like that. That's why I'm saying they're a leg. It's not like, oh, shit, look how the mighty have fallen. They're like, oh, shit, Warped Tour's back. We'll hop on that son bitch. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they have anything left to prove. But I would say, and that's the beauty of the subjectivity in art, is the fact that, like, ultimately, yes, 311, the fact that they're still at the level they are, considering they haven't put out anything, at least commercially as successful as something from 2001.
Well, actually, to bring up a 311 comparison to Weezer, kind of how we view Weezer, is I think some people forget, because I didn't grow up with I 311 was a band that I knew about like 2 of their songs. I think 311, but like I didn't grow up with 311, so I forget. 311 is one of those bands that a lot of people are like, yo, these guys fucking suck shit. But if you talk to their fan base, they're like, oh, we love... Because that's why I think 311 has like a hardcore fan base, because they haven't been like relevant in a while. And I think honestly they had like maybe a hand, which is nothing to, shit on, but I think they had a handful of like big hits where they were like on fucking top. But I bet you, you know what? I bet you it is like there's a hardcore army of 311 fans that are just like, yeah, we just go see 311 when they're around.
Yeah, like almost like Deadheads or something like that.
Yeah,
Lev heads.
Yeah, I would guess Weezer's doing a little better than them though.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like noticeably, especially on like 12 times their fucking Spotify. You follow it, you know what I mean? Like almost like it's crazy. It's crazy the amount of like like that kind of thing where it's like commercially, obviously, like Weezer puts out a lot of shit, but like also if you're throwing a lot of shit at the wall, you're going to end up getting successful. And if people already know your name, plus the diehard fans, the people that fuck with you the whole time, they just never stopped. It seems like I think 311 has an album out that they put out recently. I think from what I just saw, it said the latest release at least. But before that, it seems like the last thing they put out was back in the 2000s, like early 2000s. So they may have been legacy acting it for a while, just playing the quote hits for the fans and shit like that. I'm a guy who still doesn't understand how the fucking Grateful Dead are as big as they are. Still.
Well, actually,
but that's just me.
That actually correlates to what I was going to say about Weezer.
Yeah.
Is... Because you always go, you forget how a lot of people think with this music stuff. Because like the way you consume it and the way like we talk about Weezer is I think how it's a more sensible way to consume it. Where everyone always holds up Weezer like they're this legendary band. And I go, hey man, after your 10th dog shit album, like... I don't think you get to be called a good band anymore.
Yeah, you're ruining your legacy.
So to sensible people, they should be ruining their legacy. My guess is they're not, because Weezer, and this is the same thing with Grateful Dead, which I actually don't agree 100% with you on the Grateful Dead, because, and I give props to Robbie Bernstein, he showed me the beauty of live jam bands when you're driving, and I got a new appreciation for them. It's a great time, good driving music, but we don't have to get into that. I think a similar thing that happened with Grateful Dead also happened with Weezer. They get popular. They get known for a certain thing. Their music, like the heyday of them when people start liking them, it goes past just the music. and it morphs into a pre-constructed personality. And a lot of people who are just like liking shit and consuming art on a very base level, they just need a preset personality.
Yeah.
And I think what's bigger than the actual music itself, because like, don't get me wrong, I'm like, I've become more appreciative of jam bands, but at the end of the day, I'm not going out of my way to listen to them. It's just if someone throws it on, I'm not upset. But I think, so I like don't fully get it, but I think what it is more so outside of just the music is they've been established this preset, hey, here's your little personality.
Yeah.
Have fucking fun with it. And, you know, it's why I was telling you before, it's why I was more prone to going to a live country event. I don't give a fuck about the music. It just looks like a good time. And honestly, if you're into like dropping acid or dropping shrooms and going to see some music, I could see the fucking Grateful Dead being a fun time. You know what I mean? And then when you get into the Grateful Dead, hey, here's all these t-shirts you can buy. And here's all this like cool merch you can get. And you're like, oh, I have a whole... It's the same reason why people become Disney adults. You get into Disney and they have like, oh, here's all this stuff you now can just turn into your personality.
Yeah. It's just infuriating in my opinion. That like that stuff like that I didn't, but it's not infuriating enough to be like to rail against it. It's just one of those things where I'm like, I come to the conclusion that I just don't, it's not for me. It's one of those things where like, that's like a thing where it's like, I couldn't think, there's certain bands that I'm sure I could think of that would be nice to like go see them perform and grow and how each performance is and stuff like that. But even still, after a while, it's just like that, the whole thing. And then when I actually hear the music, most of the stuff, I'm like,
yeah,
I get it. You got to be right place, right time. But it's oftentimes how we describe like even Tool fans or Tool people in general. Like, yeah, okay,
yeah,
it's all right. Like, but it's also like, don't make this your everything. You can just be a human. Like, but it's like it's all an illusion, man. Like it's very similar feels. Like hippies aren't. That's something I always thought of in my day, was like the hippie mentality or that kind of bohemian, like the drug conspiracy guy. You know what I mean? Like the guy that's just like, well, you got to open your third eye and they're fucking controlling us and all that stuff. Like, is not just always just like the fucking like no distortion hippies. Like they're Tool hippies too. There's Tool hippies, there's Primus hippies, and they all fucking stink.
Well, I talked about it.
You all fucking stink.
I think I talked about it on No More Heroes a while ago. Like, I think besides the hippie movement feeling like a psyop so they could test out MK Ultra shit.
Yeah.
The whole hippie personality. This is the half the reason where I go like, dude, you got this you pick such a shitty preset personality.
Yeah.
It's why I actually like fucking our boy Del Calo. He's what I think a deadhead should be. Like,
yeah.
Del Calo's not like a fucking hippie. He's like a dude who's got 30 fucking food apps on his phone.
He's a self-aware scumbag.
And he likes to go hike and he likes to get high and drink beers and shit like that. And he's like, yeah, I like to get fucked up and listen to the Dead. And I go, yeah, that sounds like a good time. It's like the hippie shit. The hippie shit is they're a well disguised leech.
Yeah.
They're all because it's like the whole hippie thing. You don't exist as a hippie if you're not able to sort of leech off a productive group of people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Every fucking I was talking to someone about you'll appreciate this because you're into the cult and the shit like that, the cult shit and stuff. Where it's like you watch every cult documentary, and they're all like, "Yeah, we just wanted to become one in the earth, one with the world and the earth, and practice spirituality. And also, at a certain point, we realized we couldn't make money, so we figured out how to scam the government and get free money every month. And then, at a certain point, I told a bunch of people to get a job and give me all their money. And you're like, yeah, your hippie bullshit can't happen unless you just leech off of productive people.
Yeah, there's the society part of it it just comes down to where you have a bunch of people, you convince a bunch of people that your ideals are worth working for them. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? Like,
it's so funny railing against hippies dressed like cops. Like, I didn't mean to cut you off, but as I was like, I'm like sipping this soda like I look fucking sick.
But it's that thing where you can't have it all. And like you say, well disguised. It, like, to me, like, it was the most obvious thing. That's why I hated hippies.
Yeah.
Was literally because it was like I had enough of them in our friend group to where like I was able to go, "You're a fucking mooch.
Yeah.
You're nothing but a fucking mooch." And
Yeah.
and I would call like this. It was this girl that just because she was slightly attractive, her name was Jamie. Fuck you, Jamie. If you're watching this right now, I don't like you. I never liked you ever. And every time I would tell her, I would call her out on her moochingness. I would say like, "Why don't you buy beers? Like instead of every time you come here, you just ask if you can have our beers and our cigarettes."
I remember when I was talking about cigs at the Under Shikari show. I remember, yeah. Hey,
fuck you, Jamie.
Jamie.
Yeah.
Fuck you,
piece of shit.
Stupid bitch.
And I would say, fuck you. I would like go off on her and she'd go, "Oh, little Pat," ha 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 ha, kind of thing. And it'd just be like, and like if I had beers.
That's double annoying because you're like, do not misconstrue this.
Yeah.
This is not me being playful. So
I call him a dickhead. He's my friend. I call him a dickhead. Ha ha, we have a good time. You're a dickhead. I don't like you. You're not my friend. Put your shoes back on. You're the only person I want to put shoes on in my house. Like, and if I had beers after a while, because that's the thing is there's being kind and there's being exactly. This goes back to our SIG conversation at the creek or any of that shit. That kind of thing of like, oh, can I take a hit? Can I and if you ask, if there's
just have some of your stuff.
If you ask too much and you don't tell enough or you don't offer enough, then you're a piece of shit. And that's why I'm saying like that Grateful Dead thing of like, yes, what's the harm in it? But it's also like, what are you doing? Well, how are you getting your money? Well, I see we sell grilled cheese at the thing, or we do this, and it's like a community. It's like, no, it's called capitalism, stupid. Yeah, and then you're starting a business and you're selling things, and if somebody gets sick, you're not going to be held accountable because you're just fucking, hey man, whatever. Like that's the thing. The reason we have the government is so that we can have so that when somebody serves us food and it's tainted, we can hold them accountable instead of just going like, oh, everybody makes mistakes, man. Like, no, you're supposed to be responsible when you're offering goods and services. That's what we're paying for. So it's like one of those things of like
the financial incentive to not poison your product, your client.
That's why they have acceptable amounts of rat feces that's allowed in our food. It's one of those things that you don't determine that because you're not the professional. And that's the thing. You didn't discover a capitalistic society. You're just hippies that are too dumb to realize that if you don't function, if you don't offer something, you don't get anything back. So that's the thing. But yeah, I cook these grilled cheese and I go to just work a job, go on the weekends, go to your dead shows, do your drugs, have your fun. That's it.
Well, you know what the irony is, too?
And that's what they usually do, but...
The irony, too, is you're describing Grateful Dead fandom back in the day. Now, it's all even 10 times more of a facade, because if you really think about it...
Their grandpas and grandmas in there.
Well, no, not even about the age.
Nana's going to Burning Man.
You got to have money to go see the Grateful Dead now. Mm-hmm. It's not cheap to go see the Grateful Dead.
Bro, they're at the Sphere. Like, when they're at the Sphere, and you're like... Am I saying that right? Sphere. I was saying spear. Yeah. I was going too hard with the P.
That's what you want to do to them. You want to spear
I want to spear those stupid hippies right through their eyes. But like they have like this thing where you're right. They have an event at a facility that nobody in the whole entire world of their fan base would ever have been able to afford ever until the fact that they all get to be retirees or billionaires that are going to listen to you sing about how the flower fields and things and
about Deadheads,
it's all fake.
I think Deadheads are just parrot heads that smoke weed. No, because dude,
they're parrot heads that don't know how to like structure a song.
I don't think you need to. Dude, I don't even. The funny part is, like, I don't even think you need. I mean, the spear or whatever.
The spear, we're in Vegas.
Yeah, the spear in Vegas is a good example. But I bet you their regular shows are also because here's the reality: Dead are playing Live Nation events. They're going through Ticketmaster.
Yeah, every time.
They're you're buying fucking $15 beers.
There's
while
security.
Sitting in a shitty lawn
you're
seat.
Paying taxes to see your favorite fucking hippie band. Stupid.
Yeah.
You're paying sales tax, and you're paying for security, and you're paying for... And then what happened? Do you also get the little tick insurance? Just in case you get sick, you can't make... You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? They're not. There's not singing about how safe it is to see them.
Oh, you're getting a little insurance? Isn't the universe gonna protect you?
Yeah, exactly. What about the fucking third eye, man? Like it's a stupid group of people.
Except John Del Calo. Everyone else?
No, I think he'll say he's pretty stupid.
Yeah.
But it's like he's a good guy. I don't think I don't think they're
bad.
bad people. But I don't like them.
Stupid.
I like John.
I'll be honest. I think hippies are bad people more often than not.
Yes, dude. There's a song.
You know, I just wanted to. You were like, I don't think they're bad people. I was like, I think they're bad people.
Yeah, I don't like. That's what I'm saying.
Hippies are.
I don't like
often
that.
bad people.
Like even back when I was a punk rocker, I don't like when I was one of those guys. It's like fucking fuck the government, all this stuff. I was like, fuck you, hippies. I don't like hippies either. Fuck you,
dude.
Like it's not an older thing. I've never liked hippies. I don't like that mentality. I'm not a bootstraps guy, but I'm a guy that's like. At least wash dishes, you fucking mooch.
Well, dude,
Get off your ass, you stupid dickhead. Oh, I made you this flower out of a leaf petal. Like, what? Get to work.
Even with the punk rockers, because like punk rockers are always like like a lot of punks love the like socialist talking points, but they say all that kind of shit. But even it's like I've been to so many punk shows where they'll even be like, hey, these bands are coming through town. They spend a lot of money on gas. Buy their merch.
Right.
There's still that thing where it's like, yo, help these guys out with money.
You know, my biggest regret, one of my biggest, most regretful times ever was when I walked around at the Unearthed show and I was asking people for money so I could buy a shirt. I am so embarrassed of that memory.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what a fucking dickhead.
Yeah.
What a piece of shit I was. I'm happy I got the shirt. But as
what age were you?
I was in my teens, probably 6. I think we were just old enough to have driven there ourselves.
Yeah.
It was like 16 or 17.
You know, not to have like a whole fucking
I was a piece of shit,
philosophical conversation about our society, but it's like that was the big problem where there was like this big movement where you got to stop shaming people. And I don't think like, you always see the boomers who are like, bullying's good. And it's like, no. Adversity is good.
Adversity
is good. So this whole movement where it was like with bullying, they were always like, let's stop bullying. It's like, well, that's never gonna happen.
Let's tweak bullying.
Dude, I've been like when it's with my nephew and my cousins or friends who have kids, like I've been around like they're always like that. They're gonna bully no matter what.
Yeah.
And it's like the approach shouldn't have been, we'll try to get other people to stop hurting you. The approach should have been trying to get you to toughen up and like learn how to deal with bullying. So it is like, it's like we need to, when you're doing a shithead thing, people should be able to let you know.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, I remember with like the body positivity shit. Yeah, there'd be all these people who would like harass people online. They're like, I just feel bad. Like, I just want them to live a long. No, you don't. You want to be mean to fat people. But at the same time, they're not wrong. Like, they don't actually care about you, but they're not wrong.
Right. Right. And then there's like, there can be two rights for sure. But ultimately, if it comes down to where like your hippie ideal, the reason that you're going to see the Grateful Dead is purely nostalgia. It's purely to remember that, and you are willing to pay for it. And they're willing to sell it. Like, they sold out so long ago and have not been what they are or what they're saying they are. These fucking, hey, we're just cosmic travelers, man. Like, it's all a hoax. It's the same way as when I go to see Guar. They're not actually space aliens from different out of space that do cocaine.
That's why I don't go see them.
Right, because I know the facade. I'm going to see the
They're
facade.
just people.
You're pretending to be that. I don't go there and go, I'm a space alien that does cocaine.
No, you're not, but they are.
No, but they're not though.
Who?
Guar.
Yeah, the space aliens.
Well, once Odorous died, then the real aliens left, and now it's all just people in costumes.
Dude, you being like this, that's just what they want you to think.
Hey, so anyway, we're Pit Police.
Oh yeah, that was a 40-minute introduction.
Yeah, well, honestly though, that's a huge thing because I will say, if I can tie it right back into the clip
Stop pointing at my
your
belly
penis.
and my penis.
How's your penis?
Stop it.
I couldn't. I was like, is that it?
I was gonna go back to your penis.
That's just pube. That's just a pube. No, I don't think that at this current Warped Tour, not that it necessarily was ever like this, I don't think there's going to be any of these shenanigans. I think they're going to be shutting a lot of. Do you know what I'm saying? Like even I think what we're going to see at the new Warped Tour is a new level of clean, like
Dude, that's what I
like
think helped kill Warped Tour. Actually, besides, I mean,
it wasn't just a corporate.
Ultimately, I'm sure it was just financial decisions. But dude, I remember some of the last, like, I want to say like the last 2 or 3 Warped Tours, you'd watch like the cell phone footage of whatever band you wanted to see, and right next to the stage, it would say no stage diving, no moshing, and then it would have this like, it would like Jewish mom guilt trip you. They're like, you still want a festival, right?
Right.
So don't do this.
Yeah. It's like that. The personal responsibility is being taken away for sure. But luckily for venues like we're about to see here and investigate.
I feel like we've talked about this. Not to completely just ignore the segment we've been trying to get to for 45 minutes. No, I've said this before about like stage diving, and I just go. Like, short of... I remember there was that case where they tried to get Travis Scott, not the Astro World. There was another time they tried to get him because, like, he was trying to be like, yo, it's not my fault these kids hurt themselves when they jump off shit. And then they'll be like, no, dude, you told them to jump off shit. Like, they were trying to say Travis Scott was telling people on the second floor to jump off and, like, hyping them up and telling them to act crazy. Now, I think of, like, there's an argument legally... If they say, yo, do this, you could get them. But if you're just, like, vibing out and you jump off the stage, like, you're immediately accepting a very high level of risk. Yeah. Now, I think a lot of bands would have sympathy and, like, help you out when we were talking about that band Trophy Eyes or whatever, and they donated, like, 20 cents to the chick. Yeah. They donated $5,000. It was the venue that donated $500. Yeah. But regardless, I go... It's like, dude, I don't know what you're doing. It's like you're going into the pit slam dancing. You're jumping off stages. It's like you should have to accept that risk.
Right. That's part of the risk.
Unless I get hurt, then the band should help me out.
And nobody has an obligation. Nobody has an obligation to do anything. Like you don't. If somebody says, hey, we're going to do this wall of death. If you don't want to do that, you don't have to do it. Yeah. Like those are all the things that are like... It is not unlike, unfortunately.
The danger in it is abundantly obvious, but it's not unlike.
It's not unlike somebody having a regretful date. Let's just say. Ooh. You know what I'm saying? You're making the decision. You're saying like, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and do this, and I'm gonna. And then after
Dance Gavin Dance fan right here.
Hey, we are talking Warped Tour, right? I mean, like
you actually don't listen to them.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. But it's the thing where like there's a lot of times where like you have a
retroactively decided a bad thing.
You did a regret. There's a thing where somebody needs to be held accountable and taking personal responsibility. When the person that needs to be held accountable is you, and you're looking for somebody else, like anybody else to like. Well, but the security guy. He didn't let me know, and there was no sign that said not to do it. And also, well, what about all the people? They should have called me when no. All of this is essentially this is our church. You're putting faith in you're putting it in God's hands.
The venue should have just been like, oh, we apologize for allowing a retarded person to.
You're putting it in the Lamb of God's hands, and he was brought up on murder charges and found innocent,
but turns
not
out,
held liable.
But you put it in Lamb of God. You put it in Lamb of God's hands, but turns out you got hurt because of God's hate.
Do you know that? But you know that Lamb of God, he was brought up on that thing because he pushed a guy off the stage, and they said, and he died, and it was somewhere in Germany or whatever. And they had an actual case. He was found they were doing it at like first-degree manslaughter or some shit like that, where they're trying to say like
the one where you killed someone out of being reckless.
Yeah, you endangered them, and it's like no, if you're on stage and you're not jumping off, we've said it a million times. It is a clear-cut thing for either you're going to get football tackled by a guy off stage who's been waiting all night for the opportunity, or they're going to go like this. Yeah. And usually if you're at the edge of the stage, and that's usually what it is, just a little shove like that, or like a go on, like a little.
Yeah. I think the problem
it's a thing where like you are giving me all of the nonverbals that you want to be here and you want to do this. So I'm just going to help. I'm going to give you a good story. Hey, Lamb of God guy, help me get over my fears.
You know what I think it is, though? Because I remember this was happening. Who the fuck? I forget which band it was, but it happened recently where Oh yeah, it was after the band. I don't know if you listen to them, but I fuck with them a lot. Body Snatcher. I forget who else was on the tour.
Yeah.
But there was this whole thing where like the venue shut down the show, and Body Snatcher, and they're like a real like beatdown band.
Yeah.
Like they literally have the song that starts off with a guy going, "What's up, bitch? Fuck you." So they're a real like beatdown band, and like they were going crazy, and the venue didn't host hardcore bands and shit and metal bands a lot. So, yeah, they, like, spazzed when they saw kids acting like that, and they're like, yo, stop, you gotta get out of here. Dude, I saw it when I went to go see Counterparts and a bunch of bands like that. Like, the venue staff was freaking out, and they literally had, like, 2 security guards standing in the pit. And I think people, it's so funny, I think people who aren't used to this shit, they see that, and they go, well, this is absolutely insane. This is absolutely wild. And then it's like,
we got to get control.
It's almost like up to people like us to be like, no, this is actually incredibly normal in this context.
We got it.
In this context. Like, if they were doing this at a fucking, like we were talking before, Grateful Dead show, that would be weird.
That'd be really weird.
That would be weird. But when you're at a metal show, yeah, there should be just this, like, understood level of risk.
Did you not hear him ask? Did you not hear him ask when he said, "What's up, motherfuckers? We're going to show him what's up."
Yeah.
We're showing him what's up.
We're actually in the middle of showing him what's up.
This is what's up.
Could you get out of my way?
Could you mind? Pardon me?
But anyway.
Excuse me.
Enough of a preamble. Let's actually get to the episode.
See you guys next week.
Let's actually start the episode. But yeah, this was the...
We're not doing another two-hour one, are we?
I hope not. I pray to God. How long have we been going? Damn, it's going to be a short pit, please. Are we really 55 minutes in?
Yeah.
That's insane.
All music content. Actually, all music content.
It really was. You could argue the hippie thing wasn't, but it was... very logical progression.
And I want to let anybody know, like, I know, like, people are gonna be like, Pat, but I like the Grateful Dead. And I think just save it and shove it up your ass.
But we have a very
up your ass,
up your butt. We have a very fun pit police. This was from.
It's right over here.
This was from a minute ago.
See it over there?
So
it's right over here.
We got here. I don't know what band's playing. This is at Bar Brawl Action. Since all of you liked Cafe Bluff clip so much, we decided to create a best of from our last.
So it's probably
this
nothing.
Is the band.
Yeah, nothing to
no one. I think that's what it says, right?
I can't read. You know that.
No, yeah, nothing to no one. No, you read badly. You can read. But anyway.
Push pit.
This is a moment where if you're listening to audio to pull up the video on your phone.
Not a push pit.
But yeah. Oh yeah, shout out to Not a Push Pit. Always puts great shit on. I mean, just don't beat. The gut punches are amazing. Oh, this isn't the main one.
No.
But yeah, dude, just this tiny ass bar.
This is just one angle. Yeah. Again, if we're here, if we're security, what are we saying here?
Hey, okay.
Everything's good here.
Yeah, all legal, all legal.
I'm gonna head back into the back. I'm gonna go have a cigarette real quick. You can let me know if there's a problem.
Yeah. Oh, and here's one angle.
So this is
all.
There's 2 different angles of this.
So this was all the stuff at the show that was legal. This was all legal behavior.
All
no problem.
Yeah.
Have fun, kids.
Yeah, this would be the venue, the promoter going like this, going like, "What the fuck's going on?" And us going like, "What?"
No.
Yeah.
Get back inside, sir. Get back inside. Yeah, we'd be the cops showing up to like kids playing basketball.
Yeah.
And there's like a grumpy white lady, and then
she's
we
like,
go up.
They're making so much noise.
And we tell the kids, we're like, "You make this 3, you're gonna be out here for 20 more minutes, kids."
Exactly.
That's what we're doing. We're showing up, being like, "They're having fun, man. Get back inside."
We'll do one of these. We'll play you for it. What do you think, horse? And then we'll let them win.
Yeah.
And
it's just one of those videos of a white cop getting crossed up by a black teen.
It's gonna go.
The community's coming together.
It's gonna go viral like that one where we're Shaq and that cop. He's like, "You gotta respect your parents. Gotta go to college. Don't forget to go to college."
Yeah. And then, is this the one I just played?
No, this is different. This is my favorite. This is one where.
Oh yeah, that's the one I just played.
Wait, was it?
Yeah, this is the big one.
This is the one where.
So this is where the trial comes into play.
This is where we're gonna go. All right, where's the property line? You know, there's a little disagreement. There's a little
business owner here.
There's a little disagreement where exactly who should mow this part of the lawn.
Where's the water main?
In my opinion.
So, I saw this. I forget who sent who sent this to who. This is crazy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wait, we got to get the volume on
Yeah.
it. Because the fucking...
Was it an appropriate... See, that's exactly right. We need the full story. Because honestly, if this was in between a break, not allowed.
Oh, yeah, we got to get the context of the music.
Seems like it's right in the middle of the action.
It keeps going. That's my favorite thing when like they do something where they do.
I can't like. So the issue is like where you go like, well, what are you saying? What are you saying that didn't happen here? I will say yes, there was gut punching. Yes, there was simulated fight movements that were held in close proximity of other people as well, other individuals, all willing participants from what I've seen. The only time, like you said, that may be brought into question is once you start crawling onto the bar and running full speed and then slipping on the bar. So now you're costing people their drinks. Now you're putting you're putting an actual real danger at because all of the fisticuffs, none of it was targeted. None of it was sustained. It was moving the whole time. Even the gentleman that ran up on the counter and all the way like this did a full circle and then got right back up to the front and started swinging everything around. It wasn't a traditional crowd kill. It was the purest crowd kill I've probably ever seen.
So there's a lot of factors I think we gotta focus in on because it feels on first glance out of line.
You're watching it on mute. You're going, what the fuck is happening?
At first glance, it feels like a violation. It feels like we should book them, take them in.
Yeah.
But then you got to remember, on every pit, there's always the people standing on the side. And I think...
It's usually us.
I think with this show, they're standing on the side, they're putting their arm out.
Yeah.
They're chilling. And I think with how this show has been established, that those people at the bar... The first two people at the bar are on the edge of the pit.
Yes.
So a level of violence should be expected to come their way.
It's like at a comedy show. If there's nobody in the first row, that just means the second row is the first row.
So there's a level of violence. That's a good point. But if you're in that situation, move up.
Yeah. Don't be a weirdo.
Who cares if we'll talk to you?
Also, don't cross your arms. Just
insane audience.
Body language is important. Sorry.
Insane audience body language. No, you're not wrong. But here's the other factor that I think, and I'm curious about your opinion, it throws a huge layer to this.
What, you got a wrench in that?
So here's the thing, and I'm glad you mentioned the slip, because the slip implies that's not where he wanted to end. So you got to think about that.
What were your intentions? What was the intent?
His intentions matter.
Yeah. We need to know
That's where I think, sir... He was in a potential violation because his intent was to run across the entire bar. And that, to me, sir, is a major violation.
Sir, we aren't here to place blame. We are here to place intent. We want to know clearly what you intended.
And then we establish intent, then we will blame you.
Then we're going to place the blame.
Yeah.
Then we're going to put the blame. But we want to make sure that blame is placed properly with your intent in mind.
So I do think there's an argument.
Be honest with us.
I do think there's an argument that a level of punishment should be thrown down on this.
How far back do you think he was going to go?
What?
How far back do you think? If we're going to speculate.
How deep does this go? I think it goes all the way to the top.
He's going to go right out the front door.
Yeah. I think there's audio. I think there's text messages from the lead singer of Knock Loose telling him to do this. It goes all the way to the top.
It goes all the way to the top. Not all the way to the 311, all the way to the top. Drain.
Yeah, no, I think because this guy does owe the victim a little bit of, what's the term? Not repercussions.
Compensation or
some level of compensation because he was about to participate in an act that had almost zero success to it. And even if he did succeed, he was going to be in a bigger violation.
That's the kind of cop you want to be. You want to be the kind of cop that's going to punish somebody for what they possibly intended on, or maybe a possible crime they could have committed.
But here's the thing. This would never have happened if he didn't participate in a very clearly reckless behavior, an unsanctioned reckless behavior.
It was unsanctioned.
So that's the thing. That's the so for me, how I'm thinking about this right now, I think I'm charging this guy with you owe him a beer and a shot and a bump of the Coke if you have some.
Yeah.
That's what I think. That's what I think you are owed to this man.
Yeah, we got a just a minor fine. You are
just a statewide and a bump.
And it's not just a
citywide and a bump.
Not just a shot. I'm gonna have to bump this up to a little bit more specific. All those affected, you must purchase one drink that they are already drinking, or you spilled. You need to replace any drink that was spilled.
Yeah.
As in addition to the drink that you owe them.
Yeah.
So you.
Yeah. Beer and a shot, replacing drinks.
Now we're gonna have to get in contact with the insurance company so we can get this all sorted out.
Yeah, we're gonna
find out if anybody's
a lot of people on this.
Figure out who had a beer, what they had. I had a Long Island. Did you? Did you have a Long Island? Let's check your tab.
Oh, you had nachos, really?
Yeah. Oh, I was up there. I'm pretty sure if we watched the footage, you were in the back like a fucking pussy.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have. There's gonna have to be.
There's further investigation to sort it out.
Sir, we have video of you eating noodles at the merch stand.
Yeah.
Now a whole new crime opens up. Where'd you get the noodles?
Yeah.
Why'd
you
get
that?
In Top Ramen
they
to the venue?
They don't sell that here.
They don't sell that here.
Yeah, I think this is.
Are you on the list?
This is a fair thing. I feel like this is no further punishment aside from just a couple fines. We're gonna get some tabs sorted out. We're gonna get some of that stuff sorted out. But overall, we're just lucky that nobody got hurt.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like an HOA matter. You fuck up someone's bush accidentally. I'm not sending you to the clink, but I need to get this bush fixed.
Yeah, we're looking for financial compensation. You've got a structured settlement and you need cash now.
You know what we're gonna have to do?
Call JG Wentworth.
8775 now?
877 cash. Oh!
Oh yeah, cash now. No, I think we're gonna have to send this over to Pitt Civil Court. What if it said that on the back? We're judges now.
What up, this court, bitch?
We're the pit judges.
Go ahead, leave. I don't care.
I feel like the pit judges would have to be from the band Judge.
Or pit barbecue people.
We just call Judge them. You guys actually judges?
Yeah. No, I think Judge Joe Brown will handle this one. No, he's dead. Fuck.
God damn it.
Judge Jerry? God damn it.
God damn it. All right, well, verdict down.
Judge Steve Harvey. We'll put Judge Steve Harvey on the case.
Copy that.
You know what, Judge Ice-T, because he was in a hardcore band. I think we'll send it up to the Honorable Ice-T.
Still is.
What?
You know who just started a hardcore band?
Who? Oh, the lady from Alabama Shakes.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
that was kind of cool.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah,
is she a cop too?
No.
Okay.
No. Do you know the rapper Westside Guns?
I've heard of them.
Him?
Yep.
He started a hardcore punk band.
I have heard of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of that group. Pretty good. They got some catchy too.
Oh, the West Side Guns.
Oh, West Side's Guns. God, I was thinking of the Northern guys.
I fell off after their third album.
Who wears a sideways hat in court? Nobody. That's why I'm out here. I'm just a beat off cop.
Except
I'm out here working the beat off.
See, those kind of jokes is why I love being your partner. All right, ew, don't do that. All right, guys, thanks for listening. Thank you for being a part of Justice.
Except for hippies.
As we all say in the music scene, Blue Lives Matter.
you know us punk rockers say.
You know us punk rockers.
The police know the best.
Never forget, support the cops.
This isn't stolen valor. It's very well-earned valor.
We earned it. We're cops.
We're cops.
You have to respect us.
We have to tell you that you're cops.
Or we'll plant.
We're cops.
Or we'll plant pit drugs on you.
Ooh. We're gonna plant a glass bottle on you. Dude, can you imagine a worse thing to be caught with?
That would be, dude. That'd be so good. There has to be a whole pit police conspiracy where we go to shows with like straight edge bands and we plant beer cans on them and we like ruin the lives of all these like straight edge bands. They're like
Ian MacKay drinks Floor Logo. Can you imagine a worse drink for a nerdier guy to drink? Logo.
They're like,
good Lord.
They're like, wait a minute. We go to like a hardcore fest. They're like, whose Miller Lights are these? And it's just like X Weapon X. We're talking. I don't know enough straight edge brands.
Check what's Matt Honeycutt's water bottle, because I saw when he screamed straight edge, he had his fingers crossed. Guy's a fibber.
That might be a double negative though, because you are making an X. So like that doesn't negate.
Or a heart. Don't they do hearts that way too? Well, the kids these days.
Oh no, they do. No, there's that thing that looks like it looks like you're doing like the Crip thing, but you're actually just making a half a heart.
Oh.
I don't want to actually do it.
Oh, he's a Crip. He's a Crip. He's a Crip. He's a Crip.
Gang members?
What if I do? Oh, he's a Crip.
Crip.
Yeah, kissing Crips.
Wait. Gay? Crip. Gay? Crip.
Bye, Craig Crips.
We're not Crips. We respect you guys.
But we are gay. We are definitely gay. So it'd be a hate crime. Better careful.
Yeah.